Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gut Wrench Podcast. I'm your host, Mocha, and in today's episode, we're going to do something that we've never done before, and something that we'll probably be revisiting every so often. Not like, I don't know necessarily how often, but is something that is very important to me. It's something that is close to my heart and something that I want to share with my community, the world. Whenever I say that it's something that I wanted to share, it's something that I feel like the world would benefit from. The entire world. Even people like Kevin Owens. So today, we're going to do something that we've never done before, but we will do maybe again. Maybe again after that, and maybe again after that, until I can get some reason, and I mean like a feasible reason, to not do it again. Despite the fact that this is primarily a wrestling podcast. Despite the fact that this is primarily a wrestling is my go-to, my journey. If someone spends a lot of time talking about one particular thing, let's say you go to work every day, and take for example Forrest Gump and his partner that he was with the entire movie, not Jenna, but the guy with the whole Bubba Gump shrimp thing, and actually, even today, there's actually a restaurant called, I'm being dead serious here, Bubba Gump Shrimp. I'm not sure whether they're a packing company for a shrimp, like they pack the shrimp for someone else, or whether or not they're not the third party and they're actually the distributor. I don't know, like, what exactly Bubba Gump Shrimp is, but I do know that it exists. Nonetheless, I'm getting off topic. I tend to do that a lot. Also, I've joined a few Discord servers where a few select people have said that they would love to listen to the newest episode of the Gut Wrench podcast. Seeing as though that today we will be doing something that we've never done before, but we will probably do again. I'm going to eat this entire stack of flapjacks while singing Celine Dion, while doing the moonwalk, and while chugging an entire bottle of Alka-Seltzer. Okay, so are you guys ready? I mean, you won't be able to tell whether or not I'm doing the moonwalk, but I mean, all that, you're going to be able to tell. I mean, this is the latest hashtag TikTok challenge, and I want to be a part of it. And it's for some charity that I've never heard of. I'm sorry, I couldn't be bothered to write down the name of the charity, so I've got my Alka-Seltzer right here, an entire bottle of it. Let me think. I've got the pancakes right here, flapjacks, whatever. Okay, so are you guys ready? Time me, and in 3, 2, 1, you just got shenanigans. Anyway, today, what we're going to be doing is something a little bit different, and not that different. And by the way, if you hear lightning in the background, it's because there is a thunderstorm happening right now, and I decided to leave my window open. So, yay. Other than that, if you hear sort of a wind machine, that's my fan. You might hear my cats outside, but aside from all that, or inside rather, but aside from all that, we're going to do something that we've never done before. What's the one thing that I said that I would do, but I cannot accomplish? So I went looking like for 3 or 4 days now. I went looking for the creepypasta that I said, or the copypasta that I said that I was going to look at. I was literally just going to read it from Google rather than writing down a whole bunch of nonsense. And I was going to read every possible scenario. And all that I can remember from 3 or 4 years ago was the first 2 days. Because it's a 9-day ritual. Day 1 in itself is pretty eventful. So I'll just start it off sort of, because whenever I was looking for it, I found another copypasta that was someone else's on YouTube, saying how he can't sleep anymore, apparently because he tried lucid dreaming. And I hope to God that that's not true. At least that's what the title said. I did not click on the video, and I'm not going to review, or for that matter, I'm not going to try to steal someone else's work, their copypasta. The copypasta that I was going to review or look at was simply going to be for commentary purposes, and it was going to be so that I could get around to making my point. And the point of the entire episode that this was supposed to be about was the fact that if you chase your dreams, that anything, and I mean anything that's worldly or unworldly possible, can happen. Throughout the last 3 days, I've experienced something of an awakening myself. Because I felt as though that I wasn't good enough for a certain someone who had me blocked on Discord. She had me blocked. She didn't tell me, and I thought that I was just being ghosted. You know, I thought maybe she had created a second account, and, you know, for whatever reason. And like I said, it was an awakening because I had a dream. And it plays into today's theme of lucid dreaming. Because I didn't have this dream as a lucid dream. I had it as someone visiting me and telling me that I am good enough. Like I said, I thought that I wasn't good enough for this person. The person in question who blocked me on Discord, her name is you're gonna have to give me a second. Shut up. I momentarily forgot her name. Yeah, that's what just left me, okay? Her name is Morgan. Okay. So Morgan and I have been friends for about a year and 8 or 9 months. Maybe 2.5 years. Yeah, somewhere between a year and like 10, months. Going on 2 years. Anyway, had that been the case, me and Morgan primarily had this relationship where we were just talking and talking and talking. And after I had this dream where a woman covered in a golden trench coat looking outfit, and she had the shape of a woman. She had armor on her breasts up from her neck, and it stopped at her neck, and she wore a helmet that donned a crown in my dream. And she asked me a question. Keep in mind, like I said, this was not a lucid dream. I was not trying to lucid dream when I had this dream. And that's important that you understand that, because a lucid dream is one that you control. And had that been the case, that would mean that I was in control of the dream, that I was, making her show up, that I was pulling the trigger on having this dream so that I could fulfill something myself. I never asked for this woman to show up in my dream. And she told me basically, after she gave me a lecture, but it was one that I needed. She told me what it is that I needed or wanted in order to feel love, in order to feel passion, in order to feel something for someone. Again, she asked me a few questions and I answered. She told me to be honest with her, and she identified herself as Athena, the goddess of love and war. The thing that you need to understand is that I never asked for Athena's help, even though 2 days prior, before I had this dream, I was kind of searching how to invoke Athena. So I guess in a way, subconsciously, I did ask for Athena's help, but I never actually sat down and said, "Can you please come and help me?" I never performed a ritual in order to get Athena to show up in my dream. She's the goddess of war and love. And I can't remember all that dream because, believe it or not, it's commonplace not to remember your dreams. But if it was a lucid dream, I would have been able to remember it. So keep that in mind. Not all lucid dreams you will be able to remember, but for the most part, you will remember your lucid dream. You will remember how it enacted what happened and probably even small details. I've only lucid dreamed 3 times in my life. Only 3 times. Because it takes an extraordinarily amount of time in order to invoke a lucid dream. You have to build the energy. You have to sit there and tell yourself that you're going to have a lucid dream tonight. You're going to have a lucid dream tonight. You're going to have a lucid dream tonight because that is your intention. You would have to write it down on a piece of paper. You would have to, go through so much just to tell yourself that that's what you want. These people online, however, seem to think that a lucid dream is used for malintent, and in most cases, maybe so, because I've used it 1 out of 3 times for malintent. So, there's this girl, or this group of girls, that I had a crush on in high school. And whenever I was doing research for the law of attraction at the time, I learned about lucid dreaming. And at this time, I was a very beginner level at it. And whenever I did the research for the lucid dreaming on my own accord, according to the one of the books that I read, which was for the law of attraction. For the law of attraction, I went ahead and decided it was a good idea to have a lucid dream to get over a fear that I had. and to see if anything came from it, because they said that your energy is what drives that force. And at this time, I didn't understand how deep exactly the rabbit hole goes. But now that I'm older, and now that I've done more and more and more research on it, I do understand how deep the rabbit hole goes. That your subconscious thoughts are not thoughts that you control, for the most part. That things that happen at certain common place and common time aren't exactly things that you're fully 125% in control of at all times, at all stages in your life. Especially if you're somebody like me, who is ADHD, bipolar, and yeah, I get it. I'm blaming everything else. Yeah, I gotta have a scapegoat somewhere. But in this particular dream, I dreamed about kidnapping and raping these two girls. And whenever I woke up, I felt better than I'd felt in years. Because I got to live out some sort of a sick, sadistic fantasy that I'd been suppressing for all that time. And this was whenever I was maybe 17, 18 years old. And in doing so, I feel as though that it was a psychological relief. And for that matter, it was something that I both enjoyed and also kind of... You have to understand that halfway through the dream, I was kind of like, am I sure that I want to do this? And I had the girl bound, gagged, and blindfolded, tied to a post. And she wasn't asking, like, who are you talking to? She could care less. And if it was a lucid dream, which, like I said, I was a beginner at the time, still not like a super master at it, but I'm better than what I once was. Like halfway through the dream, I was just like, am I sure that I want to do this, that I want to go through with this? Because I thought that by having such grotesque dreams, she would somehow know about it. But the truth is, she doesn't. I never even gave you her name. For that matter, even if I did, there's 600, 800, 1200, 2400 people that probably go by that name, but I could give you a specific location, and I'm not going to do that because, these are things that are kept private. If you know anything about me, however, then maybe you can narrow it down to a few select people. But this was whenever I was, once again, 18 years old. So if you know who I knew named that person with a person who shared that name at that time, then that would be, you would know who it is. Points. And this is what I'm getting to. I'm getting to my point. I promise you, there is an underlying point to this entire interview that I'm having with myself. Because I can't interview anybody else. Anyway, what I mean to say is the fact that you can use these dreams to make a huge burden go away. You can use this time in your own head, in your own headspace, in order to allow yourself to grow. I don't know who these people are online who think that it's funny for whatever reason. I guess they get their shits and giggles to put down stuff like this that they don't understand. Or for that matter, if it's just a silly little creepypasta, copy pasta that somebody came up with and just put it on YouTube. Like I said, I never listened to it, because to rip off someone else's copy pasta would be like some sort of copyright defamity, I'm sure. The one that I read back so long ago was like a 12 or 25 paragraph, and I was just hoping to grab my phone and then just read through everything that you would need to know if you were to do it. What is the point, though? If you were to complete this 9-day ritual, what is the point? Well, depending upon the decisions that you've made, and if you've made continuity decisions, like consistent decisions. Take, for example, day one. Day one, you're going to walk from your house in either direction, left or right. That's decision number one. But that's going to depend on what hand is dominant to you. So let's say that you're ambidextrous, which means that either hand you can use to write your name, to, flip pancakes with, to pick your child up with, or, shoot a gun, whatever it is that your dominant hand is, I would recommend that you use in this particular scenario. Anyway, coming from your house, you're going to go down the street to the nearest town. In the nearest town, in the nearest park, you're going to find a mother giraffe and a baby giraffe. Mother giraffe pushing her baby giraffe in a stroller. This is how I remember it. If I remember correctly, she's going to ask you to watch her baby as she uses the bathroom, because she's afraid that aliens will abduct it. And rightfully so, because as you pull into the park, you can literally see the UFO hovering over her child, but it cannot take said child unless no one is around. I don't know why they have to be pedophile aliens. I never understood that, but okay, cool. I mean, they're literally at a playground. They're literally there to, take your child whenever you're not looking. But you have 3 choices. And depending upon the direction that you took, left or right, or depending upon your, dominant hand, rather, you're going to choose one of these 3 options. If you choose to opt out and pick a 4th option, the dream will end, and the ritual will either 1, start all over again, or 2, be discontinued for you to try it another day, whether that be the next day or whether that be 2 or 3 years from now, because there's really no, unless you complete the full 9-day ritual, there's really no, real reason as to see why you can't pick one of these 3 options. And then let's say that you weren't to go to day 2. Well, you see, if you don't go to day 2 the following night, then you kind of got to start from day 1 the next time that you start the ritual. Back to square one, so to speak. But anyway, day 1 will see you do one of 3 things, as I was saying. Let her child be abducted. Kill her child. or watch as she goes behind a tree. She's going to pee like the fastest you've ever seen a giraffe pee, because as soon as she goes behind that tree, she's going to plop back in. You have to make your decision almost at a split second. That's how this first one works, apparently. It's very strange in a way, but I mean, it's a dream. So what do you expect? So, if you're to kill the child, then apparently throughout the dream, you're going to be presented with other children. You're going to either kill them or save them, or let them be abducted. Except for on day 9. I remember thinking to myself, all this is, a bunch of bells and whistles and stuff like that. So I scrolled all the way to the bottom of the page. So many years ago. And I remember I used to have a screenshot on my phone of day 9. It was a small little 4-sentence paragraph. And it was something along the lines of, you will go into the vampire's domain. The vampire will ask you to watch his kid as he goes to the bathroom. You will then be presented with one of 3 options. Kill the vampire. And it was, the other 2 options were like suck his blood or leave the room. And then it said under it, depending upon the choices that you have made, if you have at least been 8 out of 10 consistent with your choices, on the 9th night, you will be presented with one wish. Before you go to bed on the 9th night that the ritual is to commence. So before you kill, suck its blood, or leave the child alone, if you have been at least 8 out of 10 consistent out of the 9 nights that you have tried this ritual, 80% consistent, you yourself will be presented with a wish. And before you lay your head to that pillow, before the clock strikes midnight, bleeding into the 10th night, you're supposed to say your wish or write it down on a piece of paper and put it like in your pocket or under a pillow or sleep with it, I think is what they're trying to say. But nonetheless, I've got to go drink this bottle of Alka-Seltzer now. I'm joking. I'm joking. Get shenanigans. But what I mean to say is that it is your power. You are the one who is in charge of your life. And these lucid dreams can conjure up different things for different people. Let's say that you've always wanted to learn how to play the piano. Let's say that you've wanted to get over your fear of heights forever now, but it's so overwhelmingly hard to get over your fear of heights. Not only can spirituality help you with that, but also so can lucid dreaming. Spirituality can help you very easily by allowing you to not associate your fear of heights with something bad, rather associate it with something good. And once you get that good feeling associated with what you first thought to be a fear, that is now no longer a fear, you see, you've just completed something known as the law of association. The law of association basically states that you are guilty by association. Whenever I say the word salt, you probably think pepper. Whenever I say the word jail, you probably think prison. Whenever I say the word Johnny, you probably think cash. But me, I think wrestling. Johnny, wrestling. But, other people, I can understand why they would think. Whenever I say the word Elvis, you probably think Presley. Whenever I say the word AK, you probably think 47. I mean, these are all universal truths. And the law of association has never really let me down. And I know for a fact that it would never let you down either. Take, for example, the fact that, and yes, this is a fact, it's a universal truth in my life. My Uncle Darren, whenever you think about him, you have to think about the bad things that he's attributed to. Now, if someone else were to hear this, it might make them mad. For whatever reason, I've been told that I shouldn't define people by their habits, but it's kind of hard not to. And this has been a recent consistency throughout the last few weeks, but nonetheless, you're not here for that. Nope, you're not. But it just goes to drive my point that the law of association, whenever I think of my Uncle Darren, for instance, I think, oh God, here comes this guy. God, he'll never get his life together. He'll never be on a straight path's arrow, He's just that guy. And that's what he'll probably always be until the day that he dies. That guy. He comes across as that guy. And whenever I think of my Uncle Darren, I think of his girlfriend Rachel, because they're inseparable, except they are separable. I mean, Darren's practically told Rachel to get out of his house 30 million times, but she won't goddamn listen. Except when he went to prison, she hit the bricks too. And that's a good thing. It works both ways too. I mean, if he's gone, then she's gone. That's the law of association working its magic. However, something else that you should know about the law of attraction is that it can help you, as I said, get over your fears. Not only can the law of attraction help you, but I can damn sure guarantee that anything that you're fearful of is your psyche. And like I said, it's those thoughts in the back of your head. It's those things that say, oh no, I'm afraid of that, because you've associated it with something bad your entire life, or for that matter, up until a point in your life. I'm no psychologist by any means necessary, but what I can do is I can pretty much tell you that that's probably Psychology 101. Something that is seen as something bad in your own perception is going to hold you back all of your life from trying the new thing that you want to try. Take, for example, Christians. Almost said Christianity. But they're so hell-bent on being the right party. The fact is that they lose the argument by default because they don't know how wrong they truly are. But anyway, I think I've made my point. I think I've made it abundantly clear that there's a deeper way of thinking. And if you were to try to grab the brass ring and grab it by its neck. And grant yourself a wish. I mean, there are other rituals that we could go into detail about, like the Midnight Man ritual. There's the Scarecrow ritual. I would say One-Eyed Jack, but like it's not around Halloween time just yet. Spooky ghosts and pumpkins. Oh boy. And if you're interested in that, I would advise maybe writing down some of the names that I'm saying, like the One-Eyed Jack. There's supposed to be a ritual to it. Whether or not there is or not, I'm still unsure. The Scarecrow ritual, that one also has a creepypasta attached to it. Something about Japanese households, but you don't have to know Japanese in order to. You can also play hide and seek by yourself using nothing more than a stuffed teddy bear. Once again, that's something that you would have to look up on your own, that I'm not going to touch with a rubber hose right now. We might do something for Halloween, just because, and not only that, but October is our anniversary show, so, I don't want to think about October right now, because I'm enjoying the refreshing cool down of June. It's June 1st, baby. Well, it's going to be the 2nd whenever this episode comes out, baby. But that's neither here nor there. The fact is that we took a break from professional wrestling for a little bit just to talk about your mental health. And now I want to ask you, how are you mentally? Do you feel okay? And I want you to be 100% honest. And what is it that meditation, relaxation, can do for you? Because if you're surrounded by nothing but negative energy, if there's nothing but negative light in your life, go home. Clean the cobwebs. I'm serious, by the way, whenever I say that. I'm not joking. You know how at the beginning of this I was going to drink a whole bottle of Alka-Seltzer? It just make me burp if I think about it. Like I act like that was what I meant to say. I meant to say something like Grey Goose or vodka, but instead I was rushing like the intro, and then I was like, oh fuck, what do I say? Alka-Seltzer. What? But anyway, what I mean to say is that I'm serious about that cobwebs thing. I didn't think that it would work either, because someone told me that negative energy is trapped in your house, and it's trapped in cobwebs in your house. And then I was like, yeah, that's just a bunch of hocus pocus mumbo jumbo. Hocus? Maybe. But pocus? Definitely not. Mumbo? Probably. But there's no jumbo to it. I cleaned the cobwebs out of my house. And you remember that last episode where I was talking about those family problems? Well, those family problems haven't all but disappeared. But I haven't been getting jumped onto over nothing, because literally he had no reason to jump onto me last week. Had that been the case, though, you're not here for that. Also, earlier today, I was almost ran over by an 18-wheeler, and I know you guys think that I'm joking, but I'm dead serious. Not once did this motherfucker try to run me over. Not twice did this dumbass try to run me over, but 3 fucking times. 3rd time's the charm, motherfucker, because he didn't get me. The first time, I was walking on the sidewalk, And guess who decided to pull up and not do his fucking horn thing? Well, I mean, I could hear him. I could see him. I mean, it's kind of obvious whenever 18 wheels goes from the road to the fucking sidewalk, and then you're wondering, all right, well, is everything all right, buddy? You know, and I'm slowing down. Keep in mind, I'm walking. You know, I was like a New Yorker. I'm walking here. Do you mind? You know, you made me drop my cannoli. Luckily, I didn't have a cannoli. But anyway, here I am walking, and I'm trying to be serious. I'd be even more pissed if I had a hot dog. Because I love me a hot dog. I was walking, right? And this guy, he just decides it's a good idea to get over on the sidewalk over on Bluefield, Virginia. Here we are over on the Shell station, right? And we're over on the Shell station. And then I thought, okay, I may as well get out of this motherfucker's way. He's looking to get over on the sidewalk, you know? And I was looking for the pedestrian signs. I was looking for, like, you know, a caution cone, something to hold up, maybe to say, hey, motherfucker, I'm right here. You know, I know that I'm short, but I'm definitely not that short. And he was way back here, you know, like, whenever I say back here, I know that you guys can't exactly see where I'm putting my hand to indicate where I was in direction to him, but here I was, like, I wasn't moving my hands up and down to signify, hey, asshole, stop, you know, and he wasn't braking either, okay? So here I am, on the sidewalk that connects over to the, Shell station as you're coming into Bluefield, Virginia, and I'm kind of, like, worried, you know, is he gonna try to run me over again? So, of course, I take a few steps to the left. And then I notice this fucker, and he's turning his steering wheel the same direction that I'm taking paces. I'm like, okay, he's 18-wheeler, he's got a big rig, you know, he's probably here to refill their gas emissions or whatever. I thought he was definitely here for those fucking gas price things, you know, wherever people pull in and then someone pumps their gas for them, or at least that's how it is in New Jersey. But it got to the point to where I was like, all right, well, he's definitely coming this direction. So I tried to go the other direction, and the motherfucker ended up going that direction. So here I was going left. He went left. He wasn't turn signaling. He wasn't, like, I don't understand whether he was on crack, whether he was drunk, you know, like, what exactly this man's problem was or what possessed him. So I thought, okay, I know what I'll do. He's going to park here, and then he's going to get out and take whatever fuel is in his big aluminum, titanium, whatever it is, silver big rig, whatever's attached to the fucking truck that he's driving, you know, he's going to get out, he's going to probably pump that into the ground. So I thought, okay, here's my chance to get away from him. I'm going to go to the back of the Shell station gas station, and there's no way that motherfucker's gonna follow me now. And you know what he did? He followed me again. So this time I was worried. Not really sure what to do. So probably going to be late for work, you know, and that's not my fault. It's some jackass's fault who decided it was a good idea to ride a 18-wheeler up my ass. Up my ass. Morgan's right, I do have an accent. But what I mean to say is that I was, like, right there at their garage, almost like, and I was hoping that he wasn't dumb enough to make a turn to, squish me between his rig and the building. And thankfully, he wasn't dumb enough to do that. But once I got around to the other side of the building, what did I get? This jackass waving at me. He clearly acknowledged me the entire time, because on one occasion, I felt like I met eyes with him. And then I was like, okay, what's he doing? Which way is he going? And I'm not playing a game of which way did he go, George? Which way did he go? I don't understand these people. He must have been some drunk redneck, because I've never, at 4 o'clock in the morning, the last fucking thing that I need is for somebody, especially someone driving a big rig, to run me down and kill me. Anyway, aside from the near 3 murder attempts that I faced this morning, June 1st, 2021, I should have got his fucking license plate is what I should have done. And I wanted to open the show with that murder attempt, but I figured, I'll just go into today's subject. But aside from that, WWE, we need to talk. And I know that this episode wasn't about wrestling, but surprise! I'm T-posing right now. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, I'm done T-posing. But, surprise! I'm doing it again. We need to talk. And it's about the fact that you hired Logan Paul. So, if I was to do a quick Google search of Logan Paul in 2012, I'm sure that YouTube would be of great assistance right now, and as a matter of fact, it will be. So, if I was to go, oh, there he is. There he is, Logan Paul. Hang on, let me type in the year that he was relevant. No. Apparently I'm dyslexic. Shut up. So his first video was in 2008, and it was, of course, of him calling some elderly lady, from what I understand, and he had an air horn in his hand, and do you know what he was doing? He was scaring her. I don't know if it was like his grandma or something like that. I don't quite get it. Him and his brother, Jake Paul, though, used to do these daily vlogs wherever they would, for whatever reason. See, here's one from WatchMojo.com. It's top 10 reasons why Jake Paul is hated. There's also one by Drama Alert, which is he does a better job, I feel like, of like telling people why Logan and Jake Paul are obscenities as to what they are. The only thing that I know that he's done, and that was like in 2014, aside from making fun of 3 a.m. challenges and doing fake 3 a.m. challenges, like there was this dead YouTuber, and he said that he was going to pay homage to him only to mock him in his death. Him and his brother Jake Paul, or Paul and Cruz, or whoever the fuck these people are. Logan Paul also went to one of Japan's 3 islands, or 4 islands, and he desecrated one of their monuments, or something that the locals told him not to do specifically. They said, hey, motherfucker, don't go over to that island over there. And the island in question is littered with nothing but baby dolls. And I mean baby dolls hanging from the trees, hanging from vines, swinging left and right. And it's said that it's haunted, or that it's there's a word that they have, Animaru or something like that. And I could be wrong what the word is, but don't do that. You know, hey, motherfucker, don't think that you're going to get away with doing that. And then what does he do? He does the exact same thing that they're telling him not to do. Why? Haha, shits and giggles. Look at me. I'm famous on the internet. Bro, look how cool I am. Because I'm Logan Paul. Yeah. WWE. If you want celebrities to sign a 1-match, 2-match contract, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. Not really, because the last thing that it just brings back the whole thing that I was talking about the WWE being more of an entertainment company than they are a fucking wrestling company. And if they're going to dick around with something that I love, professional wrestling, then me and WWE are going to go through some sort of past relationship. You know, we're gonna have some troubles. You know, one of us is going to end up dumping the other one. You know, like, I don't care to make this podcast all about AAA luchador wrestling with a splash of AEW, with a splash of IWGP, which, by the way, I'm not going to be able to watch. I'm not going to be able to watch AAA luchador wrestling on the El Rey network unless I'm over at my aunt's house, who's next door. But there's no way that I can go over there, occupy her TV long enough to be like, all right, well, I'm, you know, in the middle of watching something. Do you mind, woman? You know, like, I can't, and I'm not going to do that, because that's extremely disrespectful, for one. And for two, it really wouldn't garner me any, talking about AAA wrestling every so often, maybe. But I could just live off of Impact Plus at this point, you know. I don't need the WWE Network. I don't need Peacock, per se. But what's one person going to, like, I don't know how to explain this. But me boycotting WWE, like, that's not going to do anything. They don't care, you know. If I was someone big, but this just brings me back to my original point, and I hate to keep dancing around the fucking question. WWE, if you want to be an entertainment company and base all of your products off of a PG or a PG-13 guideline, then I say go for it. But don't ruin something that has been near and dear to all of our hearts for years. This man is a juvenile, and you have done nothing but give him praise, as in he's some godly figure, as though he's Athena. Nice way of working that into the program, I suppose. And I really don't understand, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people who really don't understand how you could take, and I'm going to put this in air quotes, former boxing star, undefeated, Logan Paul, Like, what? How could you take him and turn him into a wrestling star? No, you're not going to turn him into a wrestling star. I'm sure he's going to end up being on a commentary desk, or for that matter, he's going to end up being some third picked announcer somewhere, wherever he's like, and making his way to the ring. And nobody wants to see that. Who in the fuck wants to see a former Disney star who's lost his luster outside going... That's like... Honestly, you may as well just dress Triple H up in a Mickey Mouse costume. Dress Triple H up in a Mickey Mouse costume and have him come out to entertain the children. Because that's where WWE's going. I don't know how Jake Paul became a Disney star, but okay. Any publicity is good publicity, I guess, but at this point in time, it's really not something that you need for your company. It begs the question, is WWE an entertainment company, or are they a wrestling company? Because time and time again, they can put on a banger of a wrestling match, a good wrestling match within a PG guideline, and that in of itself must be hard to do, but they don't do it on a consistent basis. You can practically take any AEW show, or for that matter, any AEW product, and you can pit it against WWE's product today. AEW is probably going to win. In the eyes of the fans who are true wrestling fans and don't have a bias toward one company or another. I honestly am almost speechless, but I've sat here and talked about it for the last 15 minutes, and I still don't know how exactly or what exactly it is that I should be saying, other than good night, Good night. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, that's a Disney reference for those of you who are unaware. At the end of the, no, not at the end. Whenever Animaniacs would make they're not Disney, they're WB. Fuck, I'm an idiot. So, anyway, they would make fun of commonplace jokes. WB Animation would, for whatever reason. Like, one that they did, they were detectives on I'll try to make this quick, I promise, but they were detectives on a sailboat or on a cruise ship of some sort, and then they said, and keep in mind it's just a goofy cartoon, and he's like, hi, I'm Wacko, he's Wacko, and that's Dot, and we are the Warner brothers, and also we're here to solve a crime. And then Dot, the sister, the youngest of the bunch, after the oldest ended up saying, all right, guys, we need to look for fingerprints. And afterwards, Dot pulled out singing song sensation Prince, and then ended up showing it to her older brother and saying, I found Prince. And then he says, no, fingerprints. And then she looks at Prince, and then she says, no, thank you. And then she throws him off overboard or off board or whatever. I don't know. It's a long stretch of a joke, I guess you could say. It's a good way to close this show, I guess. Thank you all so much for. Okay, I mean it is kind of funny, but I mean it's not that funny. Hopefully the people who joined me this week from Discord get an idea or an understanding about what it is that I talk about on a week to week basis, and hopefully they become fans for life. Now, too sweet, me Chico. Gotta go ahead and get out of here because that's all you guys paid for the week. See you later. Until next time, I've been Mocha. You should be jealous. And this has been the Gut Wrench Podcast. Episode number 37, I think. I could be wrong. I never bothered to count.